Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. I really enjoy eyeshadow palettes, singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlighter, lip gloss, basically everything except for pressed glitter. And today we are going to be doing our purchaser pass video. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me, we're getting into it right now. Alright you guys, I am so happy to be back and filming this video. This is a purchaser pass video which was started and popularized by Samantha March, so I will leave her information down below as well as the information for the different Instagram accounts I use to get my beauty news. So we have missed a week because of some very fun weekend trips that I was doing with friends and my husband. We're all vaccinated, so we're trying to finally get out and do some things, and it has been so delightful, but it has also meant that my filming schedule is just out the window. So we are making up for it today, and we are going to be doing purchaser pass. So let's get into that. The first thing I want to talk about is the Maybelline Fit Me tinted moisturizer. So this product has natural coverage, natural look, fresh feel, buildable coverage, 12-hour hydration without silicones, parabens, or mineral oils. It's $7.98 each, and it comes in 10 shades. So I think 10 shades, you know, for a tinted moisturizer from the drugstore is probably the best we're gonna get. It does look like it goes fairly light to fairly deep, but I feel like there are some pretty significant steps between the shades, so I think they probably would have done better with maybe 15 or so shades. Regardless, I'm very tempted to try this. I'll probably look at some reviews first before I decide, because I have about 15 tinted moisturizers, so I definitely don't need another one, but it is really cool that they're coming out with it. And for a drugstore tinted moisturizer to be less than $10, I think is pretty good at this point, because all the drugstore prices are creeping up so much. The next thing is the Morphe 35D Desert Bouquet Artistry Palette, $26, and it is 35 shades, of course. It's got a row of yellowy shades, a row of green shades, and a row of purple shades, and everything else is browns. I just feel like we've seen this so many times from Morphe. I was so tempted to pick it up because these olivey greens I'm really into recently, but I just can't. I just can't with Morphe right now. If they would have taken this and made it like an 18 pan palette, I think it would have been such a stunning collection. They could have taken 3 or 4 greens, 3 or 4 yellows, 3 or 4 purples, and then popped in just a couple of cool tone neutrals, and I think they would have had a stunning palette. But because they can't edit themselves, these palettes are just too big. Alright, Colourpop is doing blush quads, which they actually look like they have 3 blushes and a highlighter each, and they go from pretty light to pretty deep, which I think is awesome. But the only thing that kind of disappoints me is the fact that you can't pick the products that are going into your quad. If they would have said, here's an empty quad, you pay $20, and we'll put it, you can pick your shades or whatever, I think that would have been way cooler than to do pre-made palettes, because then if you like the highlight out of one and then the blushes out of the other one, you have to buy 2 palettes instead of just buying one. So the highlighters, I think they did a good job making a range, but then that range kind of locks you into one particular set of blush tones, so I'll probably skip over those. Charlotte Tilbury is doing the Instant Look of Love palettes. I had one of these Charlotte Tilbury look in a face in a look. What the hell do they call these? They used to have a name. It was like an instant look in a palette or instant face or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's supposed to be a couple eyeshadows, and then your whole face look is supposed to all be in the same palette. I had one of these. It was so disappointing. I don't know why I picked it up. I know why. Emily Noel recommended it, and it was good quality, but it wasn't the eyeshadow looks that I was going for. It wasn't pigmented enough for me, so I gave up on it very quickly. So I will definitely not be buying those. Profusion is doing the Over the Moon collection, which I think is kind of cool. They have triangular pans. It looks like some really bright colors, and then they kept the glitters in their own separate palette, which I do very much appreciate. The only thing is the Over the Moon palette, the big one, it seems to have a lot of redundant tones, so I think it would have been cooler if it was like half the size and just a little bit more curated. Pat McGrath is releasing her first blush collection, and so there's going to be 9 blushes, a highlighter, a face quad, and some lip products to kind of round out her line. I think that's really cool that she's expanding into blushes, because I know that's something that people have been like dying to see from Pat McGrath. I probably will not pick any of these up because these blushes I think are going to be pretty expensive. I mean, they're Pat McGrath, so I would expect them to be expensive, and I just feel like I have so many blushes recently that I don't need to add more to my collection with this particular launch. Fenty is dropping the whipped oil body cream, and it's going to be $39 with a $35 refill. It's kind of interesting. It's got some different oils in it, shea butter, mango butter, and glycerin, so it's supposed to be like really hydrating, give you like healthy, kind of shiny skin. I think that's really cool, but for $39, I don't think I need to buy like high-end body care type lotion, so I'll be passing over that. I Heart Revolution and Disney did a Little Mermaid launch, and it is too big. I don't like the face palette attached to the eye palette. I don't like the giant box that it comes in for the highlighter. I just think this was all too unnecessary. I like the actual eyeshadow collection because I think the colors are really vibrant and interesting, but the rest of it I could totally pass on. Glow Recipe is doing an AHA Pink Dream Body Cream, which is supposed to be really hydrating. I have been wanting to try something that's like an AHA to kind of see if it helps overall with my skincare. But again, I don't want to be paying like luxury skincare prices for like body care products, because that's going to get expensive really fast. So I just will pass over that. This one I thought was kind of cute. This is the Peachy Queen Cosmetics Thank You for Being a Friend eyeshadow palette, and it is a limited edition 9-pan palette that is of course representing Golden Girls. Now I had like a weird obsession with Golden Girls. I really enjoyed watching it. I have all the seasons. I don't know why, because I'm not like some elderly spinster lady, but for some reason their humor just really got to me, so I really enjoy that. I'm tempted. It's $29.99, so I'll probably wait until Peachy Queen has some kind of sale, like maybe 30% off or something, and pick it up then. Oh, Lunar Beauty launched some sponges, which I think is cool. I don't really use sponges a whole lot, and they're $10 each, which is kind of pricey for a sponge, so I'll definitely be passing over those. Juvia's Place launched bronzers, which I think is awesome. They have them from super light all the way down to super deep. I am definitely picking up one of the bronzers. They did also launch some blush duos, but I have their Saharan Volume 2 blush palette, which I really enjoy, and the blush duos don't speak to me as much as that Saharan palette, so I'll probably pass over that. But the bronzers, oh my Lanta, I'm becoming like a freak for bronzers. It's really unhealthy. Fenty Beauty is also dropping a Bright Fix Eye Brightener, and it looks like it's supposed to have a little bit of blurring effect underneath your eyes, and of course, stunning shade range. Looks like 16 or so shades, and it's going to be dropping May 7th, so it's already available. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. It's got a huge, huge shade range. The next one is the Bite Beauty Daycation Whipped Cream Blush. And they just look like these little ridiculous bottles that you have to kind of like squeeze to really get anything out. And the blushes look pretty metallic. And I don't know if that's just the way that they're photographed, if maybe it's just the lighting, but they look very metallic. So for me, I feel like that's a really hard pass. Or actually a really easy pass, but like, yikes. Alright, Morphe is doing a second Coca-Cola collab, and they have an 18-pan palette. They have a gloss quad, a set of brushes, and a mascara. I got the brushes from the first one and the lip quad because I thought they were so cute. And you guys know I'm not a huge like Morphe freak or anything, but I did think that those products were really cute, and I've always been like Team Coke, so this collection really doesn't speak to me though. I think the palette is just way too neutral and boring. I don't like the mishmash of colors between the brushes, so I'll skip over this set of brushes. And the mascara, like I love my Essence / Princess mascara, so I don't need to buy this one. Sol de Janeiro is doing a dry shampoo, and it looks like a deodorant here. Yeah. And it's going to be the Cheirosa 62 fragrance, which I think is the same fragrance of the Boom Boom Cream that everybody like knows and loves. I think that's kind of cool that they're doing that, but again, I just don't need it. I have so many dry shampoos. I'm like on a mission to use up my dry shampoos because I have about 10 of them and nobody needs 10 dry shampoos. But they came in so many different subscription boxes and everything. Like I wasn't physically buying them, but they just kept coming into my collection. So I'm like, I need to use them all up. BH Cosmetics released their Emerald palette for May babies, and it is beautiful. I think this is the first palette that I'm actually like medium interested in. The greens, of course, get me. I love mixing them with those kind of aubergine plummy shades. Again, it still has a pressed glitter. I don't love the pressed glitter, but for $9, I can almost look past it on this one. I'll definitely be curious to see people's looks with this palette. KVD Vegan Beauty is doing liquid cream blushes, and they're coming in like little squeezy tubes. It looks like they have 4 shades. One is kind of a mauve. There's 2 kind of bright, one's corally pink, one's fuchsia pink, and then one's more of like a nude brownie type pink. I do think they're very pretty, but I think I saw somewhere, yeah, they're $26, which I think is just a bit pricey for KVD. Like, I understand that they're, you know, still trying to maintain that they're a luxury brand and everything, but with everything that they've had happen with the whole Kat Von D rebrand, 5 rebrands later, they've had to put a lot of their stuff on sale a lot to get rid of it, and I think because of that, I don't think they can like work their way up in price. I think they need to either maintain their prices or work their way down a little bit. So I'll be passing over these, but I do think the packaging is kind of cute, and I do think the actual blushes look very cute. Alright, the next one is Made in Corpus Christi is collabing with Lemonade Stand Cosmetics to do an eyeshadow palette that is kind of like Texas beach themed, and it's got some like pinky corally kind of shades, some blue green shades, some neutrals. I think it looks really pretty. I probably will not purchase this. I mean, it's only $20. That's not bad for an indie 9-pan, but I feel like I have enough of this already in my collection, but I did just want to mention it because I thought it was so pretty. Alright, so Beauty Bakery is going to be releasing anything for the cookies bundles, and it is a little cookie jar with lashes inside, and I believe there's going to be 4 pairs of lashes that are going to be coming in this little jar. I think it's adorable. It definitely fits with their brand. I'll be curious to see what the lashes look like. As of right now, I have a ton of lashes, so I don't need to buy any more, but I am definitely very curious. Too Faced is going to be relaunching their little Heart Love Flush blushes, and I did think that these were pretty. I used to have the Love Flush blush palette way back in the day, and I ended up decluttering it. I believe I gave it to my aunt. I don't know if she still has it or not, but the imprint of these is really like cutesy. I do think the colors are nice for the most part, but I probably will not pick it up because I have so many other blushes already. Alright, Christian Louboutin is going to be releasing eyeshadow palettes and face trios. I think the actual packaging with the little studs all over it is so badass, but the actual contents inside is so boring that I just can't get on board with it. So I'll probably pass over all of this, but I do think the packaging that they did was so cool, so I wanted to mention it. Alright, and the next thing is Beauty Bay is doing a collab with a French makeup artist, or French collaborator. I'm not sure if she's a makeup artist or just a makeup enthusiast or whatever, but anyway. Her name is Ao Coralie, I think, and this palette looks pretty cool. It's got 2 highlighters and a whole bunch of like super pigmented eyeshadows, so I'm definitely tempted to pick it up. I really like kind of the 90s punk rock kind of cover to it as well, so I'll definitely be thinking about that one. Alright, the next one. This is the Our Darling palette. I'm sorry, this is Our Darling is the brand, and it's a beauty brand inspired by Victorian morning rituals. They released their first palette, which is $30 with $13 lashes and some stickers and pins and whatever, who cares. The palette, the original palette photo caught my eye so much because it looked like a very cool toned, like slate gray blues with like a plummy shade and then some cool toned browns. But when I see the actual palette being opened up on like Snapchat stories or, you know, Instagram reels, whatever, this palette looks a lot warmer than what the photo actually shows. So I was ready to buy this. Like as soon as I got paid, I was ready to buy this. And then when I saw the other video, like pictures, I'm so glad I decided to wait because it's too warm toned for me. It's just warm tone neutrals and I just have enough of that already. Alright, Sol de Janeiro is also doing the Cheirosa 40 Hair and Body Fragrance Mist, which is supposed to be similar to the Boom Dia Bright Cream. So it will have kind of like a vanilla, amber, plummy kind of scent to it. I think that that's really cool, but again, trying not to buy more stuff if I don't need it, you know? I'm trying. It's not going well, but I'm trying. Adept Cosmetics is doing the Kemet palette, which is a 9-pan pigment palette where you can get it as a loose pigment set, and it's Egypt inspired, and it's basically some blues, greens, and golds. I think it's very pretty. I feel like it does kind of step on that line of like cultural appropriation kind of thing, but I do think the color story is very pretty. Colourpop is bringing new Super Shock shadows. They have, 9 new shades. And I really like, there's like a chartreuse green, a bright blue, and then there's like a bright purple and a coral. I think those are all really pretty colors. I would definitely be tempted to pick them up in my next purchase from Colourpop, but it's not something that I'm going to specifically go on the website and make an order for. Kiko Milano is doing a like fruit themed summer collection. They have an orange bronzer, they have some eyeshadow palettes. The one looks like a kiwi, they've got a highlighter that looks like a little raspberry, they've got some face products, some lip products. I mean, they got like one of everything, which I think is really cool. The palette is a little bit, even though it's a kiwi and it's adorable, it's a little bit too boring for me in terms of the color story, so I'll probably pass over that stuff. But if it came to Ulta, if it was on sale, I might pick up like maybe the bronzer or something like that. I might. Alright, the next thing to talk about is official Tipsy Beauty is releasing the Pomegranate Martini eyeshadow palette and for $40 and the Paper Straws brush set for $18. Storing this is going to be a nightmare. I don't really love kind of the clip art appearance to the background of the palette, and I think the color story, all of the colors are just a bit too similar, so I think they're going to look basically identical to one another on the lids. I do like the little straw brush set. They actually kind of remind me more of those like little birthday candles that you get, like the disposable ones. Not disposable ones, like the, you know, just little like dollar candles that you get at the grocery store. But I do think that's kind of cool. Alright, Huda Beauty is releasing the Glow Obsessions highlighter palette, and they're going to be doing a light, medium, and deep. And I think that that's pretty cool because then these colors will be a little bit more complementary on different skin tones. So I think 3 different highlighter palettes is fine. They kind of remind me of like the Dior ones, but you know, whatever, to each their own. I would be curious to see what these look like and how people feel like they perform before I consider making a purchase. But I do have my eye on the light one. Alright, Natasha Denona did the Zendo palette, which has some greens and kind of some red corals and then some browns. I feel like this is actually very similar to the palette that I have from all I can think is Nomad, and it's not Nomad. Nabla. The palette that I have from Nabla that has the row of greens in the middle, I feel like is actually a very similar color story to this, so I'll be passing over this one. But I do think that it's a pretty color story, and I think that people are really going to like using this. Also, I would love, love, love if she would release a mini of the, what's it, the mini retro? The retro. I want a mini retro. Who's with me? Let me know in the comments down below if you're with me on a mini retro. Alright, ReLove by Revolution is another sub-brand under Makeup Revolution. So I'm starting to kind of lose the ability to understand the differences between the different Makeup Revolution sub-brands, because they have like Revolution, Revolution Pro, then they have XX Revolution, they have I Heart Revolution. Like, they're starting to kind of lose me into terms of like what all of these different sub-brands are supposed to be bringing to the table. But this looks like this is going to be like their Dollar Tree makeup. And they're doing this, I guess, ode to their original makeup from 7 years ago, which I think is kind of a mistake, but whatever. It's supposed to be very affordable, which is good because it looks very affordable. And everything should be $6 or under. They have like some highlighters, they have some little eyeshadow palettes, they have some blushes, they have some lip balms. I'm not picking any of that up. Lorraine Cosmetics released this really pretty eyeshadow palette called Night Thinker, and it's got like some aqua shades, some pinky shades, some burgundy. I think it's a really pretty color story. I'm really starting to enjoy these kind of 3 color stories within palettes, where they kind of take 3 color families and build out a color story with it. I think that that's really cool, and then it's more interesting than just like a monochromatic palette. Those have definitely been catching my eye. Sigma Beauty is launching the Ambiance collection, and it's all like golden tone stuff. So there's a gold tone palette, gold tone face palette, 2 lippies, and a 5-piece brush set. I don't need any of that. I really don't. I love the Sigma brushes, and I would love to have like gold glittery brushes, but I'm not going to pay extra money for that. And the rest of the collection, like, I just have so many warm tone neutrals that I just don't need it. Alright, and then the next thing is by Tarte. This is the Hydro Flex Serum Foundation. It has 32 shades, and it's $39, and I'm shocked that Tarte has a shade range that actually includes people that are darker than me, or a paper, or a ghost, because that has not historically been the case. Although I'm very confused with this color story thing that kind of shows you all the shades, why the last 4 shades are like little blobs instead of like squiggles like all the other ones. Like, I'm so lost as to why they did that. Like, if anybody knows, please put in a comment down below, because that does not make any sense to me. The packaging looks a little bit cheap because it's like a little plastic squeezy bottle. It reminds me of those like empty Dollar Tree toiletry bags that you can get to go on a plane. The little squeezy bottles that come in those, that's what it reminds me of. So the packaging is like really cheap looking, and it's $39. I guess you get it with the brush, so that's a plus. I'm tempted because it's a skin tint, even though the packaging is ridiculous. I'm very tempted, but I'll have to wait and see what other people think of this one first. Alright. Adept Cosmetics is doing the Kodana palette. Kodana? I don't know. Anyway, it's a 10-pan palette. It's got some kind of grungy greens, some blues, like turquoise blues, and some like pinky red gold shades. I think it's pretty, but I don't understand the pricing for Adept, because I feel like other brands are doing the same types of shadows, but they're like not as expensive quality wise. So yeah, I'll be passing over that one. Alright, Dose of Colors did a collab with Nima Tang, and she's releasing a kind of orangey red collection and then like a brown collection. And I think these look really cool. They're $49 each. You get a liner, a gloss, a matte lipstick, and a classic bullet lipstick in each of the different sets. I do think they're super pretty. I don't think I'll pick either of these up because they're just not my like favorite go-to shades, so I don't need like 4 products with the same tone, but I think that's such a cool collab. Hip Dot is doing a collab with Cher, or I'm sorry, Clueless, basically Cher, and they're doing a lip gloss bundle, a face palette, an eyeshadow palette, and you can get it all in this like little locker thing. It looks kind of cute like in terms of the packaging and everything, but the actual products inside really don't speak to me, so I think I'll be passing over that one as well. Alright, Mira Beauty Co. is doing the House of Avarice collection, and so they have 3 palettes. One is like a green toned color story, one's more of a pinky purple color story, and then one's a glitter quad. All 3 you can get for $49, or you can get the individual 9 pans for $21 each and the glitter quad for $12. I think those are really pretty. I'm really drawn to the green one because those neon greens are really like calling my name, but I probably will not pick any of this up just because of, you know, other things that I want to save my money for. Vanilla & Co. has created basically a micellar water, which is called the Clean It Zero Cleansing Water, so I will be very curious to give that a try. I would love to see if they come out with like a travel size so that I can try it first before I buy an enormous bottle. If not, I'll probably just buy an enormous bottle when I run out of my current micellar water. Alright, and the last thing to talk about is Yukana Glow is an Australian-based indie brand, and they've released 5 9-pan palettes. They have a red and blue palette, a green palette, a mostly blue palette, an orangey palette, and then like a pinky yellow palette. I think these are really, really pretty. I'm definitely drawn to the blue palette and the green palette. Again, you know, do I need this? Not necessarily, but I do think that they're really pretty color stories, and I'll be very curious to see more from this brand as well. Alright you guys, and with that being said, that concludes everything for this video today. Let me know in a comment down below what is something that you're interested in checking out over the next couple of weeks. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!